Hey everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Life's Multiverse. Today, we dive deep into the intricate web of human connections and the subtle dance of emotional resonance in our daily interactions. Have you ever felt a fleeting connection with a coworker, a shared moment with a stranger, or an unexpected bond with someone you just met? It's amazing how the smallest of interactions can leave lasting impressions, shaping our views and enriching our lives. Imagine the simple act of someone showing you how to use a coffee machine at work. It could lead to sharing music playlists, exchanging book recommendations, or discovering mutual passions. These moments of resonance, although brief, create a tapestry of shared experiences that connect us all. While on the other hand, have you ever wondered why you felt depleted after connecting with someone in particular? Or you had a colleague that makes you feel drained every time you share a small talk? Or maybe even a partner or a family member who keeps sucking out your energy? Yes, emotional resonance isn't always about positive connections. Just as we can feel uplifted and energized by someone, we can also feel drained and exhausted after an interaction. It's like tuning into a radio frequency. Sometimes the vibes match perfectly, creating a harmonious tune, while at other times it's just static noise that grates on our nerves. Perhaps you've been in a meeting where every suggestion you make is met with resistance or negativity by a certain colleague. Or maybe you have that one friend who always seems to bring a cloud of pessimism into every conversation. These interactions can leave us feeling depleted, questioning our worth, or just plain tired. It's essential to recognize these patterns and understand the dynamics at play. Emotional resonance works both ways. By being aware of how others affect our emotional well being, we can take steps to protect ourselves and nurture the connections that truly enrich our lives. So let's delve deeper into this side of emotional resonance, understanding how to navigate these choppy waters and find our way back to harmony and balance. And let's start this topic by defining what is actually emotional resonance. You can imagine it as wave frequencies, just as in physics, as you might have learned at school already, where when two waves meet and they match their natural frequency, they build up and combine their oscillations to create a greater wave. While the frequencies, when they don't match out, they cancel each other out. Similarly, emotional resonance works on the principle of syncing or clashing with another person's emotions. When two people's emotional waves align, there's a build-up, a harmony, a shared understanding. This could be in the form of mutual excitement, shared joy, or collective grief. On the flip side, when our emotional wavelengths don't align with someone else, they can clash, leading to the feeling of discomfort, discord, or being drained. Just like in physics, where resonance can amplify waves, emotional resonance can amplify feelings. And when waves cancel each other out, it can feel like our energy or enthusiasm has been diminished or taken away. Recognizing and understanding these patterns is key to navigating our interpersonal relationships. And I'm sure at this point, nobody is short of examples from their lives on situations or people where you felt this emotional resonance we're talking about. And here I'm going, as usual, to provide examples from my life that are the most relevant. So, for example, I switched jobs recently and I met a colleague at my new company where I honestly felt that I know this person for ages. Our communication was just flowing naturally, and it was even hard for me to pull back the momentum. Even though we knew nothing much about each other, we're from different countries, different environments, and we even don't share many things in common. That's such a relatable feeling when you meet someone and the conversation just flows. It's like you're both on the same wavelength. It's almost as if you've known them for ages, even if you've just met. The ease and comfort in communication can be so refreshing, especially in new environments like starting a new job. These moments of seamless interaction are a testament to the power of emotional resonance. It's not about how long you've known each other or how much in common you have on paper. It's about that inexplicable connection, that mutual understanding and vibe that makes interactions feel so natural. On the contrary, there have been also instances in many of our lives where interactions felt forced, stilted, or just uncomfortable. It's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. No matter how you try, it just doesn't click. So now let's move things a step further and explore the science behind this emotional resonance, where emotional resonance is a phenomenon rooted in neuroscience and psychology that describes how individuals can synchronize and share emotions with each others. And it's often referred to as empathy or the ability to understand and relate to someone else's emotions. And as a brief explanation on the science behind it, they found that mirror neurons play a major role in this phenomenon. And mirror neurons are specialized brain cells that play a crucial role in emotional resonance. These neurons fire both when we perform an action and when we observe someone else performing the same action. In the context of emotions, mirror neurons activate when we witness another person experiencing an emotion, allowing us to mirror their emotional state. And that was a breaking discovery for neuroscience recently, where they found that these mirror neurons are a fundamental part of our social cognition. They essentially act as a bridge between observing and understanding the emotions and actions of others. This discovery helped scientists make sense of why we sometimes feel joy when we see someone else happy, or feel pain when we see someone else suffering, where the pain and happiness in both these examples are real and they are even measurable, even if we aren't directly involved in the situation. It's like our brain is hardwired to connect with others on an emotional level. Moreover, studies have shown that these mirror neurons are more active in individuals who score high on empathy scales. This suggests that the more empathetic a person is, the more their mirror neurons may play a role in understanding and resonating with the emotions of others. And this is the exact reason behind what we call emotional contagion, which describes how one's person's emotions can trigger similar emotions in other people. For example, if you're around someone who is cheerful and happy, you're more likely to feel happier yourself. This can also work with negative emotions like stress and sadness. The other factor in emotional resonance is brain synchronization. When people experience emotional resonance, their brain activity becomes synchronized. This means that the emotional state of two individuals can align, leading to a shared emotional experience. Brain scans even have shown that when people empathize with someone else's emotions, their brain patterns can become remarkably similar. So when we talk about vibing with someone or feeling like we're on the same wavelength, it's not just a figure of speech. There's a real, tangible neuroscientific basis behind it. And understanding this can provide deeper insights into our relationships and interactions with those around us. And as I'm talking about that now, another idea might come to your mind, which is energy vampires. So maybe you're asking yourself, does it have something to do with what we are saying? And the answer is absolutely yes. here comes another example from my life where I had in one of my previous relationships, I had felt this exact same effect where after every communication with that person, I felt depleted. I felt completely drained. And no matter how high my energy was before our communication or how uplifted I felt beforehand, it didn't take more than an hour of communication between us to feel like I'm running on fume. I was completely drained. And that even made me feel bad about myself because I wasn't in the position to give the support needed or have the energy to reverse this effect and uplift the other person. And it was only until recently when I learned what was the problem. And that this might happen when you're around someone who constantly requires emotional support, or someone who perpetually sees the negative side of things. It can be incredibly draining. And these people might not even realize the toll they're taking on the people around them. The connection to emotional resonance here is significant. Just as we can pick up and resonate with positive emotions, we can also easily become affected by someone's persistent negativity or emotional demands. Over time, constantly mirroring these negative emotions, even subconsciously, can lead to a feeling of exhaustion and depletion. It's crucial to set boundaries in such relationships to protect our own emotional well-being. While empathy and understanding are vital, it's equally important to recognize when a relationship is taking more than it's giving and to take steps to protect and nurture one's own emotional health. And in this particular context, I'm not saying that these attributes are intrinsic to the other people as energy vampires. It might be just a transitory state, as it was most probably the case that happened to me. But the point is that it felt perpetual and it was too long for me to handle. And I found that the wiser decision for me in this situation is to step back because I didn't see an end and it was taking a big toll on my well-being. And this is due to the fact that stress is actually contagious. Because of what we previously described on emotional resonance, stressful feelings could be transferred from person to person in the same way. In stress, anxiety, or other negative emotions, when someone close to us or even a stranger is visibly stressed or anxious, our mirror neurons kick into action. We begin to mirror or emulate their emotional state, and suddenly we might find ourselves feeling on edge, anxious or stressed without a clear cause from our own experiences. Ever been in a room where someone is panicking or very stressed about a particular deadline or event? The atmosphere can become thick with tension. I think we can all relate to that from our work maybe, because in such situations, everyone starts feeling the pressure too, even if they are not directly involved in the situation. This contagion of stress underscores the importance of being mindful of our own emotions and the environments we place ourselves in. It's also a reminder of the powerful influence we can have on the emotions and well-being of those around us. And following up on that, it's very important to learn and know how to protect ourselves from such effects. And our first line of defense would be here is setting boundaries. Because people with boundaries difficulties struggle to set emotional boundaries and separate their own emotions from those of others. And this can result in absorbing the stress of others without realizing it, leading to chronic stress and burnout, just like the situation I found myself in, where when I was communicating with that person, I didn't know how to set proper boundaries. I was taking the role of the supporter, where I tried always to listen and keep listening and supporting emotionally and try my best. But unfortunately, this didn't work well for me, where I struggled to set my boundaries, and that resulted in affecting my own personal well-being. Another thing to mention here is self-awareness. which is to recognize when you are in the presence of stressed individuals and how their emotions may be affecting you. Another very important topic is stress management, where developing a stress management strategy for yourself, such as deep breathing, mindfulness, or meditation, helps you to stay centered in stressful situations. Did you also know that emotional resonance can have physical effects on our bodies? Where, for example, it was scientifically found that when there are multiple women sharing the same room for a prolonged time, such as living together, their menstrual cycles synchronize after some time. And this is scientifically known phenomenon. It's called menstrual synchrony. So emotional resonance can also manifest physically in various ways. Beyond the menstrual synchrony example, think about how our heart rate might increase when we see someone we care about. In danger or difficult situation, we might also feel physical pain in our bodies when watching someone else get hurt. These are all examples of our emotional and psychological systems working in tandem, resonating with the experiences and emotions of others. It's truly fascinating how interconnected our emotional and physical states can be, and how deeply we can resonate with those around us, even on the physical level, on the body language and the nonverbal communication, which is a powerful tool in conveying emotions and feelings, even more than words. Our body language, facial expressions, tone of voice, and even the way we breathe can speak volumes about our emotional state. Consider a simple example. When someone's arms are crossed, their brows are frowned, and they are avoiding eye contact, even if they say nothing, you can sense a barrier or some form of discomfort. Conversely, an open posture, a genuine eye contact often convey openness and comfort. These nonverbal cues are picked up subconsciously by our brains, and they can trigger emotional responses in us. We can feel welcomed or shut out, relaxed or on edge, simply based on someone's body language. And the final topic I want to discuss on this regard is emotional regulation, where emotional resonance can also play a role in emotional regulation. When people share their emotions with others who empathize, it can provide a sense of relief and validation, helping to regulate emotional responses. When we open up to someone and they resonate with our feelings, there's a profound sense of being understood and validated. This can be immensely therapeutic. It's the reason why talking to a friend, family member, or a therapist can often make us feel better, even if our problems aren't immediately solved. Just the act of sharing and feeling heard can be healing. Moreover, when someone resonates with us, they can also offer perspective or advice that we hadn't considered, which helps in the regulation process. Sharing similar experiences or provide different viewpoint, helping us see things in a new light. On the flip side, being the listener and resonating with someone else's emotions requires emotional regulation as well. And these human features and skills are deeply embodied in our brains. They even have their own circuitries, and it's often called empathy circuitry in the brain, which is a network of regions associated with empathy, including the anterior insula, anterior cingulate cortex, and part of the prefrontal cortex. These regions become activated when we perceive someone else's emotions. So now, as we learned a lot about this feature in our human species, we're coming to an end of our today's episode. And by that, I just wanted to emphasize that emotional resonance works just as a ripple effect. So we always have the power to choose what kind of ripples we want to send. And thank you so much for listening. Until the next time.